What's up, Mr. Elite Gang? It's your boy, Max Niederjohn. Today, I'm going to be explaining to you the St. Petersburg Paradox. I got the V-neck on, so you know stuff's going to get serious. Here's some quick background on it. It was first publicized by Daniel Bernoulli, a Swiss mathematician in 1738. He derived it from a problem from his cousin, but the problem his cousin had was much more complex. He did not know he was creating a problem that would still be argued to this day. So this paradox is actually based off a game. The game itself is relatively simple. You have a coin, much like this one. You keep flipping the coin until you get heads, and each time you get tails, the amount you get doubles, and it starts with $2. So I'm going to play it myself, and you guys can play along if you want. I'm going to flip the coin, and I start off with heads, so I only get $2. Let's try it again. We got tails, tails, and heads. That means I got $8 for that round. If you get heads just straight off the bat, you get 2. If you get tails then heads, you get $4, and so on. Now you may be wondering to yourself, this is very simple. How could this be a paradox? Well, how much should you charge to play this game? Most of you might think $4, $6, $8. But what if you get tails many times in a row? You could end up getting millions of dollars. So should it be a reasonable amount, like $4 or $8, or should it be like $1 million to play this game? This first theory states that no matter what the cost is, it's worth playing the game. This is because when you actually do the formula and find the expected value, it ends up being infinity. This is shown by the equation above. We'll see in the next part how this applies to the real world. This theory is basically the opposite of the last. It states that it's only worth playing the game for some finite cost. So if you went up to a random stranger and you asked them to pay all their life money to play this game once, of course they're going to refuse. Even if you asked them to pay only $100, they would still refuse. This is because the higher the amount you win is, the less the probability is. This is further backed up by George Louis Leclerc, where he ran an experiment with 2,048 trials and found that the average payout for this game was $9.82. Surprisingly, even though it should be average infinity, it didn't get infinity once. Well, this is obvious because we live in a world where money can't be infinite. It has to be limited. Based off these trials, it's reasonable to say that you should pay $10 to play this game. But this amount could vary based off the experiment and the inherent luck in that experiment. Now I'm going to go over some flaws in the paradox. I say flaws, but they can all be easily disproven. The first one is that it can't be run in real life, but it is impossible for one entity to have this much money to run the game. Well, it doesn't matter if it can or cannot be run in real life. It doesn't take away from its validity as an experiment. And second of all, it is possible in real life if there's like a bank or some entity that has limitless amount of money backing it up. Another complaint people have is that we should disregard the highest values because they're so unlikely. This would ruin the experiment because the highest values are the ones that are the most money, and that's why it skews it so far to infinity. If it weren't for those values, it wouldn't even be a paradox. It'd just be a simple game. In conclusion, I find this game very interesting. I'm so happy I picked this topic. It really highlights the difference between what math should be and how it actually happens in reality. According to the first theory, the expected value is infinite every time. But according to the second theory, you never get that. You just get a reasonable value. They are both right in their own fields, but they cannot both be true, which is why it's so interesting. Here are some fun little questions to test yourself. So the first one states, if you get 3 tails and then a head, how much money do you get? Well, there's actually a formula for this. I'm sorry for my handwriting in advance. The formula is 2 to the 1 plus t, where t represents the number of tails. This is the t. This is the t. So it's 3 tails, so it's 3 plus 1, which is 4, and it's 2 to the 4th, which is 16. So it's $16. What sequence of heads and tails has the same probability of Gonzaga winning March Madness, given they're in the Final Four? Well, they have a 1 in 4 chance of winning because they're in the Final Four. And if you get a tails and then a head, it is the same probability as this. However, We all know Gonzaga's going to win. They are so much better than every other team. It is a disgrace to even say it's close. I'm very thankful for you tuning into this presentation. This concludes my TED Talk.